School uniform. You can get lots of different types of uniform. The definition of a school uniform is an outfit worn primarily for an educational institution. Some people like it and others don't. One thing that can be said about it is it can make you look good and feel proud to be part of something, like Scouts, but that can always be taken too far. Around the world, uniform is thought of in different ways. In countries like South Korea, it's seen as a fashion statement, but somewhere like America, it's nearly always non-uniform. The country with the best education system in the world, Finland, just ignores school uniforms. In Brazil and Cambodia, only loose dress codes are used. Denmark and Germany have no uniforms at all. Most places do have their own take on uniform. In Russia, for example, there's a modern-day tradition for girls to dress in Soviet-style brown uniform. In India, many Muslim girls wear veil, and lots of Sikh boys wear turban as additional part of their uniform. It seems a necessary part of life by most, but what if things are different? What if there was no uniform?
I think the thing about wearing a school uniform, or even wearing a uniform in the Royal Air Force, or I sort of wear a bit of a uniform now as a Member of Parliament because you wear a suit, shirt, tie, jacket, is that it's easy and it's straightforward and you don't have to think about it very much. So I'm actually very, very supportive of school uniforms. I think they're a good idea because they give a sense of identity about a school, because people can see you and they know where you're at school, and it also means that you're all the same no matter what your background is, and also it's easy because you're not worrying about where you're having the latest trainers or the latest logos on your shirts.
I think if we got rid of school uniforms, it would help children become much more independent.
If there was no uniform, I think it would be like generally a non-uniform day. I do think discipline would go down. I think that school uniforms help with discipline.
Well, I think in the first couple of weeks, I remember when my daughter went to sixth form, for the first 2 weeks it was like an explosion in Topshop on her bedroom floor every morning, and there was a real worry about what to wear, and eventually that died down and she just wore jeans and t-shirt every day and forgot about it, and I think you'd get the same thing.
If the school had no uniform, it'd be fun, yeah. It'd be like a lot more fun. It'd be easier to get up in the morning and stuff because you don't have to put the same boring clothes on every morning and stuff. And it's just fun to express yourselves with your clothes.
With school uniform, you kind of feel like, sometimes you feel like you're in a prison.
A working or single parent would argue a uniform is cheap and quick. No wasting time choosing what to wear in the morning. Still, there's plenty of time to grow up and go to work and wear a uniform. To grow up and go to work and wear a uniform.
When I was at school, I had a blazer with a badge on, a jumper, white shirt, trousers. We weren't allowed to wear white socks, dark shoes. But it was quite easy to decide what to wear in the morning because you all wore the same thing. You didn't have to worry about being trendy and picking, the latest clothes. And then when I left school, I joined the Royal Air Force, so I had to wear a uniform there as well. I think it's important that where there is a school policy on uniforms, that parents and pupils are listened to by the head teacher and the school governors. I would like to think that most schools have a school council where pupils can feed back to the head teacher about a dress code policy. And if pupils are really unhappy about wearing clip-on ties, I would hope that the school governors and the head teacher would listen to that. I do support a dress code. I think it's important and it helps parents. And nowadays, as I say, with supermarkets like Morrison's, Tesco's and Asda, you can get very reasonably priced school shirts. You can get packs of 3 for £5. And I know because I bought them.
Why can't you spend your childhood in clothes you don't have to worry about getting grass stains on or spilling paint on? And doesn't it help someone grown up to make their own decisions instead of parents making it for them? As for teenagers, it's normally hard enough finding out what your own style is and identity, without having to wear the same thing everyone else is. I decided to put some of these views to Jason McCartney, local MP of Colne Valley.
Look, there's pros and cons. Certainly up to age 16 when people take their GCSEs, I think it's good for a school to have a school uniform so that everyone looks smart, you have a sense of identity, and it takes away the peer pressure. However, when people go on to sixth form, whether it's Greenhead College or New College at Sallandine Nook, I do agree that the dress regulations can be relaxed, because if you go on to university, obviously the dress regulations are relaxed and people can wear whatever they want there as well. I think pupils do deserve their say, and it's always, I think in any school situation that pupils should have an opportunity to feedback to the head teacher and to the governors about the way in which their school, because it's there for them, is run. And I would like to think all head teachers and governors would listen to the pupils and the parents in deciding policies about discipline, the way things are taught and what they wear. But overall, I think a school uniform is a good thing.
I'll start with an anecdote. I came here from Fartown High School 15 years ago, as I've said, and at Fartown High School there was a very, very strict uniform. The most depressing day at Fartown High School was the day when it was non-uniform day, and the reason for that was that all the children who couldn't afford the designer stuff, couldn't afford the good stuff, couldn't even afford clean stuff, stayed away from school, and that really informed my support of the school uniform. It gives everybody exactly the same look regardless of their background, their wealth, what they believe in. It creates a homogeneous corporate identity, which I think is really important as we move forward into this century.
I think it was introduced 60 years ago after the war, when uniform was acceptable. I think it did help poor families to be able to buy one outfit to wear to school. I think nowadays, I don't think there's that kind of poverty around. I think everybody can buy themselves a t-shirt at Primark if they want to. And if they've managed in countries like Spain, France and Germany without a uniform all these years, then so can we.
Well, when I first started teaching, I was very much against uniform. I thought people should be able to express themselves individually. I thought the uniform was not what teaching was about. I went into teaching to teach kids and to teach my subject, which was history. But as time's gone by, I can see the value of a uniform. I can see how it helps children to not feel different and not feel left out because they've not got the expensive trainers or the expensive designer wear.
As the teachers say, without school uniform, it kind of becomes a competition on who looks the best and everything.
This experiment showed how regular people, in certain circumstances, can let a situation spiral out of control. Randomly picked volunteers put into two groups, prisoners and guards. It's through uniform the two roles were distinguished. After the guards took their characters too seriously, the experiment had to be stopped. The prisoners' basic human rights were being abused by the guards. And it just goes to show uniform can give a strong sense of obedience and authority. It'd be going too far to say that uniform was used for similar aims in schools, although it's a well-known fact that they can manipulate a group consensus. That's the way we all think of roles and authority. So it's up to you to decide. Does Britain actually need a school uniform?